Hi guys, it's Mrs. T here. I am going to be finishing the book, The Tale of Desperaux. So I think we left off on chapter 38, yes, to the dungeon. The strange threesome made their way down the golden stairs of the castle. The princess and Midge walked side by side, and Roscaro hid himself again in the pocket of Midge's apron, and Midge pointed the sharp tip of the knife at the princess's back, and together they went down, down, down. The princess was led to her fate as around her everyone slept. The king slept in his giant bed with his crown on his head and his hands crossed on his chest, dreaming that his wife, the queen, was a bird with green and gold feathers, who called his name, Philip, 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 without ceasing. Cook slept in a too-small bed off the kitchen, dreaming of a recipe for soup that she could not find. Where did I put that? She grumbled in her sleep. Where did that recipe go? It was for the queen's favorite soup. I must find it. And not far from Cook, in the pantry atop a bag of flour, slept the mouse Desperaux, dreaming, as you know, reader, of knights in shining armor, of darkness and of light. And in the whole of the darkened sleeping castle, there was only the light of the candle in the hand of Mrs.T. The candle shone on the princess's dress and made it sparkle, and the princess walked tall in the light and tried not to be afraid. In this story, reader, we have talked about the heart of the mouse and the heart of the rat and the heart of the serving girl, Mrs.T. But we have not talked about the heart of the princess. Like most hearts, it was complicated, shaded with dark and dappled with light. The dark things in the princess's heart were these: a very small, very hot, burning coal of hatred for the rat who was responsible for her mother's death. And the other darkness was a tremendous sorrow, a deep sadness that her mother was dead and that the princess could now only talk to her in her dreams. And what of the light in the princess's heart? Reader, I am pleased to tell you that the P was a kind person, and perhaps more important, she was empathetic. Do you know what it means to be empathetic? I will tell you. It means that when you are being forcibly taken to a dungeon, when you have a large knife pointed at your back, when you're trying to be brave, you are able still to think for a moment of the person who is holding that knife. You are able to think, oh, poor Midge. She wants to be a princess so badly, and she thinks that this is the way. Poor, poor Midge. What must it be like to want something so desperately? That, reader, is empathy. And now you have a small map of the princess's heart: hatred, sorrow, kindness, empathy. The heart that she carried inside her as she went down the golden stairs and through the kitchen, and finally, just as the sky outside the castle began to lighten, down into the dark of the dungeon with the rat and the serving girl. And that takes us to chapter 39, which is called Missing. And Mr. Carter, my 2-year-old, is making it very difficult for this to be an uninterrupted read aloud. So we will start chapter 39 maybe when he goes down for his nap.